Howdy, folks, and welcome to the very first episode of Where Better Cattle Begin. I'm Randy Clements, rancher, AI technician, and co-owner of KR Cattle alongside my wife, Catherine, and our kids here in Northeast Colorado. This podcast is all about the beef cattle industry from the ground up. We're going to talk genetics, reproduction, and new technologies, and some good old management basics that make or break a herd. Whether you're running a big seed stock outfit, raising a handful of commercial cows, or just want to learn what goes into a steak on a plate, you're in the right place. Each episode, I'll share what we've learned on our ranch, bring in some guests from across the industry, and break down topics like AI, embryo transfer, body condition scoring, minerals, calving prep, and much more. My goal is simple: to help you raise better cattle, improve your herd, and keep the ranching lifestyle alive for the next generation. So saddle up and stick around. We're just getting started, and I promise it'll be worth the ride. This is where better cattle begin. I'm Randy Clements, co-owner of KR Cattle. I also manage my father-in-law's commercial cow herd full-time and run a successful cattle genetic business. We do a lot of AI work and are slowly working into being able to perform embryo work for customers as well. I grew up in Southeast Idaho, where at a young age I knew I was going to be involved in the cattle industry. I knew it was in my heart and soul, and this is what I was passionate about. So from a very young age, I was lucky to be able to get in with some of the best in the industry in my mind, to learn how to successfully raise these cattle, how to successfully select these cattle, and some of the best management practices and techniques in the industry. And I am looking forward to sharing those with you. Today, we're just going to give a brief overview of the long-term forecast of this podcast, maybe just talk a few basic details here as we get going. That being said, for me, the number one thing that I hope to get out of this podcast, and I hope everybody can get out of this podcast, is building a long-term involvement for our families and improving our operations so they can be around for a long time. That being said, I think the number one spot that starts is in our cow genetics, and I think one of the biggest things that as a cowman we got to think about is longevity in our cow herd, and how long are these cows able to stay in our herd and function as a mother cow. Longevity pays the bills in my mind. If that cow can produce a calf for the longest possible time and continue to raise a good calf for extended periods of time, that cow is the one that's going to pay the most bills on your operation. And to me, it doesn't matter if she's registered or if she's commercial. That is the cow that is going to, in the long run, bring you the most income. And that's something that I think as we start to break down genetics, we've got to look at those cows that's got the longevity behind them. They're going to be the cows that are the most structurally sound. They're going to be the cows with the most volume and ability to intake feed as we go. And those are the cows that are going to last the longest. And so, keeping track of records of which cows are staying in our herds the longest is probably one of the most important things in this cattle industry. And we're going to break into that quite a bit more as we go down the road here. I think one of the other big things that we've got to look at in the industry is, are we fixing for long term, or are we fixing problems very quick and short term prognoses in these cow herds? And I think there's certain breeds that maybe do a lot of this, and I think it's something we've kind of really got to watch, and we're definitely going to dive into that more as we go, and maybe some of these quick fixes and what I'm seeing in the genetic side of things that is starting to come back and maybe have an effect in the cow herd as we see it today. We're going to really dive into reproduction and the tools and techniques that we use there. And as simple as synchronizing our cows, bull selection, AI, embryo transfer, how we can use these progressive tools successfully in all operations, and how they financially will benefit us, or kind of a cost comparison on some of these as well. They don't fit every operation, and we got to figure out which operations they fit best. And so we're going to dive into that as well. We're going to see and talk about some pretty unique tools, and you're going to hear quite a bit as we get into the reproduction side of things. We here at KR Cattle hold AI classes every fall and winter, and you're going to be able to hear from some of the students as they come through class, and we'll probably sit down and do a few discussions, and it'll be good because we get to hear from people from all over the nation in them classes. It'll be good because we can really broaden our minds with input from others as well, and you don't have to be raising the most amount of cows to have a successful idea in the cattle industry. And so it'll be fun to really dive into what some of those individuals might be able to add to the industry as well. And I look forward to some of those discussions as we go forward. You're going to hear about tools that we use in those classes as well, and how we use those to teach not just those classes, but we also take them around to some shows and some other things to really be able to expand and broaden the minds of everybody that we run across. And one of those in particular is our world famous breeding Betsy, and she is our AI dummy that we use in class, and we really look forward to discussing her more, and why she is so useful in the training of AI technicians going forward. And then we're going to really start to talk about management fundamentals. And I think some of the most important things there is body condition scoring. Or how often are we checking these cows, and are we making sure we're getting them to our target body condition scores at the right time of year? And we're going to go. We'll talk that quite a bit. We're going to talk minerals quite a bit, and we're definitely going to talk about how it is easier to maintain and how we successfully maintain that cow's mineral program than trying to play catch up during calving season or breeding season, because it's a lot easier to maintain than it is to catch up. And then we're going to talk about land stewardship and nutrition's role in a healthy cow and fertile cows, and how we're successfully managing the protein intake and the energy intake in the cattle, and how we can do that in the long term, and be, again, progressive in trying to maintain our nutrition in our cattle. And that being said, we got a really, really kind of fun roadmap for where this podcast could go. And I've got some really neat individuals that are going to be coming in later. We're going to try to deep dive into some different breeds as well, and maybe what they're doing right. And we can find some flaws in all of them, I'm sure. But we're going to find the good, and try to use that and expand everybody's knowledge on maybe what we can begin to look at ourselves to expand our operations and make us that much more successful in the future. That being said, to just kind of wrap up my thoughts here for a minute, we're going to just kind of roadmap here exactly what all you're going to see within at least the next year. And you're going to see a deep dive on genetics, AI and ET, minerals, nutrition, and then we're going to really try to find some cool and unique new technologies, and how those are going to play into the cattle industry as well. You're going to see some industry experts come in and have some really fun discussions there as well. And we look forward to you being on the road with us here as we do so. Thanks for tuning in to Where Better Cattle Begin. I'm Randy Clements with KR Cattle, and I hope you pick something up today that'll help you build a better herd, manage smarter, and keep this ranching life strong. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it with a friend, a neighbor, or maybe a young hand just getting started in the cattle business. You can keep up with our ranch, our AI classes, and our beef program by following me, KR Cattle, or Where Better Cattle Begin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And remember, in cattle and in life, live the brand. Until next time, keep your cows fed, your gates swinging, and your genetics headed in the right direction. This is where better cattle begin.